All right, I'm live. It's just giving me the live signal. And so, hello, everybody. I am going to get started here. We're having some trouble bringing in Derek Franklin. His audio went out on him. I'm not sure if it's a bandwidth issue because my wife is in another part of the house streaming as well. And so it's going to be a good day to test um, whether or not our internet can handle it. Now, the fortunate thing is we just upgraded the internet just a few days ago, so we should be good on speed. And so I do see Derek trying to get back in, so I'm going to try to bring him back in. Okay, Derek, can you hear me?
Yeah, you loud and clear.
Okay, so I can hear you loud and clear too.
All right.
All right, you got it. We just got to get that worked out.
See, man, and I was trying my best. I wanted to look so cool because I just, I went out and got my headset.
Right, you can still put them on. Nobody's going to know that.
Yeah, well, they will now. They will now.
Well, I mean, hey, you know what? When we streaming live to Twitch, it is so relaxed out there, man. And nobody's gonna care, man. I'm telling you, that's what I really love about that platform. But we are actually live. I'm checking it now.
Oh, I see it.
I see us live on Twitch,
Yeah.
and I'm checking Facebook now.
Yeah, we're on Facebook now.
You see us on Facebook?
I just shared it.
Okay. And so now let's see here. Um, YouTube is the third one, and I see that we're live on YouTube. So yeah, we're good to go, man. I got a full picture, and looks like we are in somewhat of HD. So that means we got a good stream going. Stream health is good, and so I'm excited, man, that we decided to do this today. It just turns out that we're both off on Fridays, and this is the best day. And Derek, how long has it been since we've been saying we've been trying to get this back going, man?
You know what?
Uh-huh.
3 years, almost 3 years. March. I went online. March. I think it was 24th, 2018. It was the last time that we did.
We did a raw talk.
Yeah.
And that's the last time we've been live together. Period.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to find this on Facebook. I can't find this.
Yeah, I just shared it.
You shared it from the Revel Action TV page?
Yep.
All right, let me refresh one more time. Yep, I see it. It came through. So, yep, there we are. So let's chop it up, man. We're basically just doing a welcome show today, and trying to reintroduce ourselves, basically, and what we would like to do with this channel, with this platform. The last thing the official last show that we did on Revel Action TV was Raw Talk. Yeah. So explain to the people what the concept of Raw Talk was all about and what we were attempting to do out there. How many episodes did we get under our belt before we dropped the ball?
We did a good man. Okay, so we fumbled. We did a good 9 shows, 8 or 9 shows.
Really? Okay. Yeah, that wasn't bad. And did we get those downloaded or saved somewhere?
I actually still, not so much downloaded, but they are on the Raw Talk page, and so they're there. It's just hey, it's they had dust on them, so.
Yeah, but man, did we have a lot of fun doing those shows or what, man?
Yeah, we did.
Those were 1-hour shows that we would do in the original Revel Action TV studio that we had built right after church on Sundays, man. We would just go over to the next building and turn the power on, man, and have an hour of fun, basically.
Yeah, we had to, of course, we always had a a topic. But what I liked about it is that it was so organic, how it could just maneuver and how it could just blossom into something else while actually still staying on our topic. So that was what I missed. I missed the interaction. You and I have a really good camaraderie together. Really good chemistry. So, it was fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and we hope to get our the third leg of the stool back online as well. Eric Coleman.
Yeah.
So we got to try to figure out what the best time slot is for everybody, so we can make sure our schedules match up, and that we can and get it going and be consistent this time.
Yeah.
Because we were starting to build a little audience there. There were people that were starting to appreciate what we were doing with that Raw Talk. But get into a little bit more of the meat of how you developed it, because you actually had that concept for a very long time.
Yeah, actually, man, it actually was birthed through. I've been writing a book. Let me back up. I've been sitting on a book for quite a few years. So I had to clear that up. Which was called Unguarded.
Okay.
And it was centered around coming to the Lord.
Okay.
Being completely transparent, being completely unguarded.
Okay.
And so it actually focused on, Unguarded really mainly focused on men. And it focused on how we don't properly deal with our emotions,
Okay.
And because we don't properly deal with our emotions, they have to be displayed somehow, some way. And so most of the time, because we haven't been taught how to deal with it, they come across in certain type of behaviors.
Okay.
So that's when you get into the guys around our age, when next thing you know, they're coming out and they got a bright red Corvette convertible.
Come on, man, don't talk about me, bro. Man, that's not. You're not on this show to talk about me, man.
Hey, me too.
Hey, but I tell people all the time, I'm on my 4th midlife crisis.
Bro, I mean, come on.
Looking forward to my 5th.
But that's what it's centered around, as far as what happens when you don't properly deal with your emotions. And so for me, and now we're talking about Unguarded and the book that I'm sitting on. For those that know me, and it's going to be out there real soon, as far as so it's nothing to hide. For me, it's centered around sexual morality.
Okay.
And so that was my go-to. Every emotion that I had, I was happy, I was sad, I was hungry, I was depressed, I was joyful. It's just like everything revolved around some sort of sexual gratification.
Okay.
And it kind of goes along and tells the story as far as when the door opens, what can come in. And it also talks about the journey back and dealing with that thing and battling that thing and how it actually affected my life, how it affected my decision making, my career, my marriage, and that's what it's centered around. So that was Unguarded, and so and it was, like I said, it was just about being real. It was straight, no chase. It wasn't high in the heavens. It wasn't. It was real simple.
Mm-hmm.
Men, we like simple things, just get straight to the point. And I'm telling you, right off the bat, they got straight to the point. As far as what goes on. And so from that's where Raw Talk kind of started, circulating. Because what happens with as we're talking about Raw Talk, there's a lot of real issues out there. Not just with what we deal with as men, but just real issues.
Okay.
And the problem with that is that we don't really properly deal with those issues. We kind of sugarcoat them. We kind of skate around them. Especially those real sensitive topics.
Right.
We're dealing with our emotions and our emotional intelligence, and dealing with our things that we deal with our soul. And so just kind of thinking about it, jotting notes, and it was just like, man, it's something out there. Is there something out there to where we can just get raw about what we go through in life,
Right.
the real issues, the real talk. And I was just like, okay, we need some raw talk. And so it's just like, okay, that sounds pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So even with our tagline, is real talk, real issues.
Okay.
And so that's what Raw Talk is about. We talk about, a lot of different just current events, We do get into the weeds when it comes to, relationships, our emotional intelligence, the media, social engineering, just whatever's placed in front of us, what we see. Let's really get into the heart of it, and let's get raw about it. How do you really feel about it? So what we do with Raw Talk is that we kind of say those things that you're thinking, but you really don't want to say.
Right. So, I mean, is it true that, men can go pretty much their entire life without anyone really knowing what their true emotions about anything is? Or because we as men, we express them in other ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so nobody really knows what we're feeling because it's coming out as something else. Is that the case?
Yeah, it really does. With the population that I work with, I see it on a daily basis. And it's like the only emotion that you're as a man that's acceptable, per social norms,
Yeah,
is anger.
is anger. Right.
It's okay to be happy, but it got to come across. You got to have that scowl on your face. It's like, yeah, but it still got to have that aggressive feel to it. You see it a lot. Like, I can tell you, just growing up, how many times have I been told, you bet not cry, not better not, you bet not cry.
Right.
Real men don't cry. Or the term "man up." Like, what does that mean?
Right.
What does that really mean?
Give me the explanation for that. Right?
Well, when I figure it out, I can give you an explanation.
Right.
It's like,
hold on, let me Google that. Maybe Google can help us with what does man up mean.
So you create a society, of men that aren't emotionally responsible.
Okay.
And so you don't know how to deal with it, and it really comes across when you're dealing with trying to show love, because you're showing love based off of the model that you that you participated in. So if your love, the model that you participated in, if it was aggressive, if it was angry, if it was no feeling, if whatever it was, that's what you're going to project. And so with that, when that happens, you just keep building and growing a generation of, emotionally irresponsible people.
Right. Or emotionally, what do you call it? Emotionally
bankrupt.
Yeah. Wow. So yeah, this is some of the stuff that we're going to definitely be getting into we're going to get what they call into the thick of the weeds on during your show, which is called Raw Talk. Now it's Raw Talk for men. Is it just for men, or can women tune in?
No, women most definitely. It's very diverse, because some of the topics that we talking about, that we will talk about, they will center around our emotional intelligence.
Okay.
And also our a lot of our cognitive functions.
Okay.
But it's designed to pull those things up out of you, to be able to think logically, not being led by your emotions, being able to be more responsible with your emotions. And so we have some really good topics. We do have some really good topics. Like, we take a lot of current events, because there's nothing like current events that will get you going in your emotions, right?
Oh yeah, we know all about that, don't we? Yeah.
And so how to properly maneuver through how you feel.
You're right, because people's emotions are all over the place right now, right? Because of the political arena, what's going on, climate, everything that's going on. There's a whole lot of reasons right now to feel strange about a lot of things, and so we want to use your show just as an avenue where people can open up and discuss, right? And discuss how they're feeling. And we're going to just look at that and find out what we have to offer someone like that. And so what's your disclaimer for your show? I mean, you are a licensed therapist. What give us a little bit about your background.
Well, I'm not licensed.
Okay.
I'm not licensed. I'm in the process of studying to obtain my license. So I want to clear that up. So
get the disclaimers out there, right?
Yeah. So I am in a process. I'm in graduate school. Yeah. So the process is going. But what I can say is that everything that we do, everything that I do is biblically based. I know we have the understanding of psychology. That's man's way of trying to figure out what's wrong. But the one thing, our apostle, hey, Apostle Nona,
Parker,
1110 Curtis Avenue, the baddest apostle you ever meet.
Shout out,
man! Shout out, with her, and then we have Apostle Glenda McCullum at Antioch Christian Assembly.
Yes.
And so one of the things that Apostle Nona would always tell me, she used to really get over it. She was just like, "You're not going to be using man's psychology to figure out how God dealt with the soul." And so she really, really kind of redirected me into, taking what's taught secularly and bringing that under the auspices of the scriptures. And so to be able to deal with our soul issues. And so that's what you're going to get from me. You're going to get some good information. And it's all biblically based, period. Okay. And so, but like with me, and not so much as far as psychological information, like my end goal is I want to study, once I go into PhD studies, I'm going to study neuropsychology.
Okay.
So, which is just kind of the interaction between the brain and our behaviors.
Okay.
And so that's where I really want to go. So I'm more into the research part of it, but I want to be able to have the ability to counsel, provide therapy. But I really like to put together just manuals and information on how the devil uses our psychological makeup, how he's able to lay those little snares and traps and how those things, and how our body, how our mind, our brain, our mind, and our body kind of reacts to it.
Wow.
That's where I'm headed for. So my disclaimer is no, I'm not a licensed therapist. If at any given time that you need to seek therapy, seek a professional therapist, a licensed therapist, call 911. You're feeling suicidal. You're feeling like hurting yourself, hurting someone. Make sure you seek the proper help for that. So I'm not licensed yet. On my way.
On your way. Right. But I mean, it really helps to understand your field when you are able to have a show like Raw Talk, where you can just go back and forth and converse with people about what they're feeling. Right. It's all about your mental health and does that start with your emotional health? Is that where mental health starts? Or
I wouldn't say that. Biblically speaking, it starts with your heart.
Okay.
What's in your heart?
So you got to get to like, what is the old saying? Get to the heart of the matter.
You got to get to the heart of the matter. And so as you deal with the things that are in your heart,
right?
Or if you don't deal with the things that are in your heart, it is going to come across in your behaviors, and it's going to come across in your actions, because the way this whole circle works is that the heart is communicating to the mind. The mind is telling the brain, okay, this is what I'm focusing on. So the brain is saying, okay, if that's what you're focusing on, let me strengthen that for you. And so then that's where that loop comes from, because it's like your heart is just pumping out whatever your desires are. And your mind is saying, okay, he's now they're moving over here. Now the brain is saying, okay, they've moved over here. Now let me aid that as well. So it all starts what's in your heart. What are you holding on to? And so that will come across in your how you deal with your emotions, your decision making. It's just how you, especially when it comes to outbursts, man, because what happens is that it's crazy how the brain works, man. It's like you know what to you know what to do. You especially you living in the body of Christ. You have Holy Spirit within you, right? It's there, Holy Spirit right there. And so, what the issue is our flesh and our souls, because Holy Spirit is saying this, and this, right? And so that thing still has to navigate through our soul. So, by the Holy Spirit said this. So by the time it navigates through our soul, it didn't completely just through everything. Just like you're supposed to go right. Holy Spirit said go right. But by the time we get to your soul, it was like take a left, spin around, go another mile, take another U-turn, go right, then left. It's like what? Because and it all depends on what we're dealing, what our soul issues are, how do we properly make a decision, and it's just Holy Spirit just looking at you like, okay, that's not what I said, but hey, go ahead and roll with it and watch how this plays out.
yeah. Consequences.
Yeah,
right.
So, but that's really it. It's not super complex. It's not difficult if you really, if you take what's in your heart, really surrender that thing to God, whatever it is. And it's a work in progress because we all are dealing with some things, but you'd be amazed at how fast things begin to change when you just learn to deal with your heart issues.
Yeah, I mean, in my line of work, I deal with a lot. I deal with the public,
right,
a lot, and I want to talk a little bit about, before we get into some other things, about a situation I had the other day,
right,
at work, without getting into too many details.
Gotta keep paying bills, so we gotta be careful. You gotta keep the job, so we gotta be careful.
Yeah, I mean, I'm no names or anything like that, but I gotta keep it as real as I can, because I think this is something you should hear, because it's the perfect example about what you're talking about with men and their emotions. Mm-hmm. And so I had contact with a young man, and when I say young, he was probably 29, 30, young to me, right? All these grades, and I asked him if he was okay. It was just a straight up question. And his response to my question was, I feel harassed.
You feel harassed? He felt harassed.
I feel harassed. Right. And I said, you feel what? And it threw me for a loop there, because, normally I'm used to another response, but he just went into this emotional downward spiral off one question. I just asked him if he was okay. So, he took that question and just felt like I was threatening him, felt like I was belittling him, felt like I was targeting him, felt like I was profiling him. And just, it turned into a big deal, right? Mm. It was so sad at the end, because this man obviously he missed an opportunity, to take advantage of some resources that not only I had for him, but the company that I work for might have had for him, and I tried to get a word in edgewise to explain to him, like, man, we got a lot of stuff here that can help you, but your emotions is all over the place. Nobody's going to want to offer you any service if you're walking around with a chip on your shoulder like that. And so I stood there by the window and watched the young man leave, man, and my heart just broke for the young man, because, of course, he was possibly homeless. I deal a lot with the homeless population. He had everything. He had this big old bag on him, big duffel bag, and he was just walking around aimlessly, which is the reason why I approached him, because, of course, my job is to working in safety and security is to make sure don't let him jump off, right? And so here I got a young man walking around with a huge duffel bag, almost looking like he's casing the place, but looking like he was lost at the same time, or not being able to find what he was looking for. And so when my heart just broke for this young man, because it's like, how many businesses will he walk into? How many places will he walk into? And because he's got this anger about being who he is, he's not going to be able to receive help. Mm-hmm. Not surface level help, not direction. Nobody's going to want this guy around, right?
Right.
Because he looks like he's a threat. You know what I mean? He's got this huge duffel bag on. He's kind of dressed kind of paramilitary, look to himself, and it's like, okay, you can't just go and be anywhere today, right? Even in a mall, you go to the mall, you go in a mall with a big duffel bag on. Of course, you gonna be looked at, right?
Right.
By security, by safety personnel, and even approached. You know, especially if they feel like they need to approach you, they're going to approach you.
Right.
And so we have a lot of men today that are walking around with this chip on their shoulder, which is like a blockade in their life to receiving help from people who genuinely have resources that can get them to where they need to be. So they're missing out on so much because their attitudes are jacked up. Now, how does the attitude connect to the heart issue that's causing this problem with a lot of young people today that's just walking around angry?
I was just having this conversation with someone the other day. Shout out to the younger generation, because we have a 17-year-old here.
Right. And the younger generation is our passion, which is the reason we're streaming in Twitch now, right?
Yeah, and I think where we went wrong is, and from my generation, maybe a few years older than me, like your age, we tell these kids all the time, man, you can be whatever you want to be. The world is your oyster.
Yeah.
Everything is open up to you. And that, when it come down to it, man, that was a lie.
Hold on. I have to quantify that because I heard that a lot when I was growing up.
Because the thing is that true? Can you be whatever you want to be?
I had to give that some thought. But of course not. No, I would have to say no off the top.
And so what happens, think about it like this. We giving everybody participation trophies, whether they came in first or last, and I understand the concept of it is just offering, a pat on the back, good job. But what you do is that you create a society of, of needy, dependent, people. And so you don't prepare them how to lose and how to lose properly. You don't prepare them for disappointment. You don't prepare them for understanding that everything is not always going to go your way. So you raise a child and you're constantly telling them, nobody's better than you. The world is your oyster. So when they get older and then life hits them smack dead in the face and they get that no, and they start getting, no, I'm not going to be able to do that for you.
Mm-hmm.
What does that do to them?
Yeah, I mean, you got to prepare people for disappointment because there's a whole lot of disappointments, and everybody's going to get their share of them, right?
So you're raising this generation of entitled youth that's dependent on good job. But once again, what happens when you get into an environment where people's not patting you on the back? Depression, anxiety, right?
Right.
They withdraw themselves.
Hopelessness.
Yeah. Rejection, abandonment.
Yeah.
And so what happens is you create this confused group of youth that just looking to get a pat on the back. And so now you're going out looking for that affirmation. You're going out looking to be celebrated and congratulated.
To be validated. Yeah. And why is that, why is that come across as looking for negative attention? We in law enforcement understand that there's oftentimes a situation where any attention is better than no attention, right? Mm-hmm. But we live in a world today that, although we are so interconnected because of the internet, people are less connected in their lives, and I deal with a lot of people in my line of work that are suffering from attention deficit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about young people
Mm-hmm.
that are suffering from attention deficit. So when they see me, they feel like they got to do something negative to get my attention. When I'm almost saying on a daily basis, hey man, all you had to do is come up and say hello. You know what I mean? I'll
Mm-hmm.
give you a conversation. We can talk. But because like you're saying, this culture that's been created to where everything you do is right, when they run across somebody that says, "Hey man, you can't do that here," or "Hey man, this is not allowed here," it becomes this big situation that is that ends up in a lot of disappointment for them
Mm-hmm.
when
And
they find out that a lot of things that they thought was right
mm-hmm.
or that they were told were right, and in some cases, depending on their environment, they were shown was right
Right.
is actually not right. You can't do that stuff in public. You can't do that stuff you just can't go and hang out everywhere. There's places where you can't be
Mm-hmm.
restricted areas and we deal with a lot of young people that want to be in restricted areas and they don't even have a concept of why an area is restricted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's exactly what happens, man. It's you got this generation, that just thinks that everything is open to them, and get upset when they realize that it's not.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So, and because they weren't properly, taught how to deal with that, they will go into those, like we said, those they will go into those behaviors to receive attention. But and then what you got to realize, because you had mentioned about negative attention or negative affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, to them, it's not negative.
Wow. I never really thought about it like that.
It's,
Quantify that. You got to quantify that.
it's not negative because attention in itself, we're the ones that put labels on attention as far as being negative or positive. But for the person that's seeking the attention, they just want it. And so whatever behavior they have to display to get it, that's what they're going to do. And so now what happens is, because this person is operating within their social norm,
Okay. Keep talking.
it's like for them, what they're doing, this is what works. Even though somebody else might look at that and it's like, that makes no sense. Well, why are you doing that? But the person that's displaying the behavior is saying, but it makes sense to me. You understand what I mean?
I get you. I get
It
that. Yeah.
makes sense to me. And so this is what we do within the confines of my culture or in the confines of my community. So who are you to tell me that this is negative? Because this is what we do.
See, we are, man, bro. That's deep, man. It's hard for me to understand it, although I see it every day. It's still hard for me to understand because, of course, I wasn't raised like that. Negative attention was you didn't. I was raised in an era where a child, or even as a young person, teenager or young adult, you didn't want to draw any negative attention to yourself, right? I mean, we worked hard to keep from drawing negative attention to ourselves. I mean, the levels that we went to make sure that everything was in place, that we were dressed properly and left the house looking the right way, and all the things that we said or didn't say, none of it could draw any negative attention. And if it did, man, we felt like the lowest of the low.
Mm-hmm.
But something changed, something flipped to where that's all young adults today, in many cases, want is the negative attention.
They want attention.
Okay, so the root of it is they want attention.
Yeah.
How they get it doesn't matter.
Because think about it. Remember, just look at all the different challenges that's on social media. to this challenge, to that challenge, or whatever. And some of those challenges are are dangerous, but these challenges are going viral.
True.
With no concern about personal or public safety.
True.
So why is that okay? Because socially, in the confines of this this society that they've created, these things have been labeled acceptable. It goes back to, it's acceptable for them, for this group. We don't care if it's not acceptable for you. So in this community, everything that they're doing, they getting likes, loves, attention. But we're looking at it like, that's just negative attention that they're getting.
Right. You're right.
But they don't see it like that, because the thing is, once again, whose idea of negative attention are they basing this off of?
That's true.
Right. And it's normal. So what happens is their normalcy here and our normalcy is crashing up against each other.
Right. Hey, look, I'm gonna throw a quick question in. I got a question from a viewer. This is actually Keith. He says, "How hungry are individuals, and what drives them? What is driving these individuals? And why is there? I'm suspecting, Keith, if you can make that a little bit more clear, why are they hungry for attention? Can you move on your experience? Where's the deficit coming in at? And I want to throw in a quick opinion that I picked up watching a Twitch channel the other day, where this guy was actually an atheist, but he grew up Catholic, and he gave one of the best definitions of the purpose for the church and the community that I've heard in a long time. Now, it was based on his Catholic upbringing. Now he's atheist, but he said when he was growing up, the church was such a part of the community that it was where all discourse happened, even political. And so everything that was going on in the community actually kind of filtered through the church, right? And that filtration system, or that natural filtration system, actually had pull and sway on the community in its totality. I mean, from the laws and the policies being made, and all the way up the ladder to the politics that took place in that community, because of course all politics are local. But he said, now that I'm an atheist, he said, I wish the church would have not vacated that position, because the communities need it very much now. And his guest, his co-host, said, you're absolutely right, because now politics is filling that vacuum where the church once was. And if they could figure out how to recreate what the church offered the community without the religion, without the theology part. Right, because they're atheists, so they're saying we want the church, we just don't want the theology.
Well, you can't really separate, but see that what you just described is what we're dealing with right now. It's called secular humanism.
Okay.
So we know what humanism is. As for humanism, is just that basic belief that morality, doing the right thing, wisdom and knowledge is all you need to navigate through life. That's the human in a nutshell. There's a little more to it, but in a nutshell.
Okay.
Now you take the secular part of it, where you put secular humanism. So what secular humanism says, that you can do all that, and you don't need to believe in any higher power. You don't need to believe in any God.
Okay.
So just based off what he said, we want to be able to do all this, but we don't want your God.
Right.
We don't want your God. We don't want any God.
We want the benefits,
but we don't want to serve your God.
Okay.
And so, but what they don't realize is that when you're when you're dealing with secular humanism, that's a religion in itself. And so you're serving your God.
Right. You know what I mean? Because everybody's serving some God, right?
Exactly.
Right,
And
right.
so you see that a lot. You know, I see that a lot in my field is the whole move toward humanism, not realizing that that's a religion. Secular humanism is a religion because what you're saying is that we can do all these great things and we don't have to believe in any type of God, anything spiritual, anything supernatural. When you die, you're gone. There's nothing else. So you're in a situation where you have a whole generation of people practicing a religion that they don't think exists, serving a God by stating they're not serving a God.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a complete oxymoron. You know, so that's what we're looking at. That is secular humanism. So anybody that's watching, you want to go and take a look at that phrase secular humanism, and it's gonna trip you out.
Yeah. Somebody, if you throw it up in the chat, if you find some definitions, so we can talk it up. If you have any questions at all for Derek Franklin, he's the creator and the host of Raw Talk for Men, where he's going to be chopping it up with a lot of different guests about issues that most.
I get to have guests. I can have guests.
Yeah, you get to have guests.
Okay.
What you mean? You can have as many guests as you want to, man. This is virtual. You know, I was thinking we should have did this at the beginning of COVID because the whole time I'm thinking, man, we got to get back in the studio. We got to rebuild the studio. But I'm like, this is the way people are doing it now. So I mean, hey, let's roll with it, right?
Man, I wish I had invested some money in GameStop at the beginning of COVID.
Right. You never know; it might be too late, but I think it's done for GameStop. It's over. Yeah. And speaking of GameStop, speaking of stocks, period, we will be. I am the host of the Myed Show, the Money is the Defense Show, and we're going to be talking about stocks. We're going to be talking about crypto. I got people already lined up in the crypto field, in the crypto arena, so that we can keep you informed of what's going on crypto and investing. Maybe bringing some real estate people. I'm trying to put a real estate deal together for myself right now, and so yeah, we're going to be talking a lot about money and mammon. You know, one of the reasons why I really appreciate Twitch as a platform is for everybody that's watching this now and everybody that'll watch this on the replay. We're not going to be streaming live to Facebook and YouTube. Now, that's not to say that some of our shows won't go live to Facebook or YouTube, because many of them will. I think the content for your show, D, is relevant for Facebook and YouTube. Mm-hmm. But we really want to target the audience that's out on Twitch, right? Mm-hmm. Because right now, I think we got some people that's watching us on Twitch now. And so we know that this type of subject matter is going to be important to a lot of people. But Twitch is known for being a gaming platform. If you've ever been out there, everybody's out there playing games, but they have other categories where people are able to talk about things like we are talking about now without having to worry of being censored, right? By the big platforms, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and the like. They're a little bit more understanding out at Twitch. Shout out to Twitch for letting people be themselves. And so we're going to be really targeting that market and trying to keep a lot of our focus on the youth, because it's the young people that are not, like you said, what we just discussed, they're not getting the attention. Nobody's talking to them. Mm-hmm. And so we go out there and we see how people who just take the time to open up a platform like this, thousands and thousands of young people will flood in, right? And just to hear somebody say something or give them the attention that they need, And this attention issue is a big issue today. Mm-hmm. Even though our world is shrunk because of technology, and we can meet people all over the world with a cell phone now, it's almost like the opposite has happened. People are more distant from each other than ever before. What do you think is causing that? Why aren't people making those genuine connections anymore?
Man, I mean, social media is a very powerful tool. It's a very helpful tool. I mean, social media has been responsible for, creating businesses, creating platforms for people, creating wealth. Man, shout out to social media if it's used correctly. But the downside to just really being on social media, because you have so many so many platforms. I'm not gonna name them, but what it does is severs the ability to be able to connect on a personal level. We were created to connect to our God, and so when you shut that down, when you sever that ability to connect, the thing is, you're still going to connect to something, but your attention is so set on something that's kind of inanimate, just like this. And this is all you're doing, because most of your social media use is on a phone, because everybody has one.
Right.
And so you create this thing called a couple things. You ever heard of FOMO, fear of missing out? So you got to be able to, when you have that phone in your hand, it's just you feel like you're always connected. You're connected to people, but in reality, you're connected to inanimate object. Period. That's what it is. So what it is that you're connected to a piece of plastic and a piece of glass.
Bro, that's deep right there, bro.
Which then becomes your idol. Because how many people that don't walk around with a phone in their hand, in their face? It's a form of idolatry.
Wow.
It says social media information overload. Exactly.
Yeah, that's.
You don't want to look at it like that, but it's a form of idolatry, because your focus is on that piece of glass and that piece of plastic.
Yeah. I mean, it can get bad, bro. I'm thinking about getting rid of my phone and going back to the old flip, man. I think I'm at the age now where I qualify for one of those senior citizen phones.
But check this out. I'm
gonna get one of them jitterbugs, man.
Exactly. Check it out. The way the society has kind of maneuvered around, especially somebody like you can't operate without a smartphone.
I mean, I want to try. I want to give it a try, because, man, what you just said is absolutely right. This thing has literally become a part of our hand.
Yeah.
And we get too much information, like our like we just saw in the chat, put up in the chat. It's social media equals information overload, and too much information, to me, is what's keeping a lot of people from being able to act, which is one of the reasons why we named this channel Rebel Action. Because when something is revealed to you, you have a responsibility to act on that information, right?
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of people, particularly in my field with the finances and teaching people the importance of saving money and how to save money properly, I can give them all the information they need, but very few, only 2 out of 10, in some cases only 1 out of 10, according to government statistics, are able to actually do it.
Yeah.
And so it's that action part. It's the action. And that's why we created Rebel Action TV, because we want to help people get over that hump, or get past or push past that barrier that keeps them from actually using the information that they're receiving, right?
Yeah.
Because what you have is, when they're not using this information, they're just ingesting all this information, right? All day, social media, Twitter, Facebook, news, everybody's opinion, all the photos, all this stuff is being embedded in you, and it's rendering people paralyzed to act.
Yeah. That's a form of idolatry as well, because you're the information over. You're so full of information, and on your quest for knowledge, then what becomes your God? Your
right. Right. Yeah. Hey, bruh, you can talk on that. Keep talking on that. Really, I'm gonna pull up this picture that I want to show. When I first saw this, I think it was yesterday or maybe the day before. I really thought, wow, this is how a lot of people are. But keep talking because I'm gonna look up. I'm gonna find the picture and then I'm gonna shock you with it.
Man, because just it goes back to it actually goes like to what we're what we're studying in our Friday Night Fire right now. You're studying the book of Corinth, right? That culture, they were so huge on wisdom and knowledge and information, and that was the quest, because when it come down to it, the quest is to one up. I know more than you. I have more
Okay.
information than you. But the thing about that is that what are you doing with the information? And so
Hmm.
if you're not dispensing this information, I know I saw I saw that. If
Yeah.
you're not dispensing that information, what's the purpose of you having it? Just so you can sit around and say, I know something you don't know. Now we're getting into pride.
Right. Right. And so when I saw this picture, I thought, wow, they found this sheep.
Yeah.
I don't know all the details of where they found him at, but they found him with 75 pounds of wool on him,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I guess he had escaped and got away or something, but he was living in
Yeah.
the wild, right?
Yeah.
And so he wasn't getting his haircut on time.
Mm-hmm.
he
Mm-hmm.
missed he missed a whole bunch of haircut appointments, right?
I know,
And he got to the point where he could barely walk, right?
right?
Because that 75 pounds of wool, man, was weighing him down.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what, when I saw that picture, I immediately thought of how some people are with information, right?
Man.
We take in all this information, and it's like I tell people at work all the time. They said, John, you know so much on so many different things. I say, I'm full of all this useless information. I said, I'm just a wellspring of useless information because I don't know what to do with it. And so that's how we get.
Yep.
When we're so full of information and there's no action being taken.
Yep. And then if you think about it, that eventually that sheep would have died full of information.
Yeah. And so what do you do? What do you do with that? Because like I said, I work with people's finances, and sometimes they're so full of useless information that they can't take any new information in. It's like you tell them something that they really need to know to get a different outcome, and it's like it bounces off them. You remember those little super balls we used to play with as a kid?
Yeah.
When you throw them, and they could like go to the moon almost. They could bounce so high.
Mm-hmm.
So high. It's like that. It's like throwing a super ball at people. Sometimes it's just no more room for information, and so therefore you can't get a desired outcome. They can't get the action that they need to get, or the level they need to get to correct their situation. And it's sad. It would have been a tragedy if they had not come across this sheep.
Yeah. You had said something when you're dealing with people like that with information overload, especially with what you deal with. And in therapy, they call it a challenge of a contradiction. So you have to challenge that. Okay, so you're that's fine. You got that. I understand that. You know this. Challenge how they feel about it. Challenge what they think about it. Challenge what they believe about it. In a subtle way, but you have to challenge it. But the thing is, once again, we're in a society where we don't take kindly to being challenged. But that's really the only way you'll be able to get to someone like that. Just challenging what a person thinks, challenging the belief, challenging the way that things are done, and not in an arrogant way or a prideful way, but in a way to just, if you can just catch them for that moment, like, Never thought about that. So now that you threw the challenge out there,
Mm-hmm.
then you can be able to just kind of maybe do some redirecting or some reframing, to
Yeah.
the way that it should be done.
That's good. That's really good. I do have a few challenges that I put out, and I'm gonna start putting more out. Because I think they worked in the past. So I'm glad you brought that back up. Challenging some, and now also I'm finding out that adding a game, like a gaming aspect to a challenge, is also fun. Why is that today? I mean, because we said, we're streaming live on Twitch for a reason. That's a gaming community. They
Mm-hmm.
understand different levels to things. They understand different challenges. Right? They're always challenging each other. And so, but that gaming aspect to it brings a whole nother understanding, because first of all, it becomes fun, right? It doesn't become a arduous function or something that you're
Mm-hmm.
forcing people to do. It's like, okay, you gotta move, transfer money from your checking to your savings, and they're like, oh man, I don't really want to do that. I hate logging into my bank account or whatever. And so adding a gaming aspect to it is something that I'm really looking into, to encourage people to take the necessary steps to improve their lives. Because when we're talking about finances and money, we're talking about something that what I do today is gonna really either hurt me or pay off 20 years from now, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're told that when we're young, but it's not really drilled into us. How we use and spend and save money and earn money today is going to have a lot of bearing on my lifestyle in the future,
Mm-hmm.
to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
And so uh, what I really like about gamers is that they understand uh, different levels of things, right? They're playing these games where there's different levels to them. You have to understand that your weapons change on different levels, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're able to challenge yourself to maybe go after different challenges within that level, a lot of these games have levels to where you could go right, and make it to the next level, or you could go left and maybe pick up a couple of extra coins or a couple of extra whatever to be able to upgrade your weapon on the next level, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I really think we've missed out on not really talking to this community, because they understand so many things that have to do with spiritual things already. I really do believe, and I'm starting to believe that virtual warfare is very similar to spiritual warfare.
Yeah. That man, that's good. That's a whole generation that's kind of discredit them, because what we don't what's not active in some people's eyes, then that means that they're irrelevant. They don't matter.
Wow.
And so, because just I'm not a gamer. I understand the concept of it, as far as why it's so attractive. Because just think about mostly what you hear about game, all you do is stay in a room and play the game.
Hmm.
And this
Right.
is so they just kind of just set off to the side, as if they don't have opinions, they don't have thoughts, they don't have emotions. And also, on the flip side of that, a lot of people that get into it, they use it to escape their reality, their real world.
Right.
And so, that's what's good about this platform, is because we have the ability to be able to tap into that and say, no, 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 let me show you a little something different. Let me reframe you. Let me redirect you to a little something else. I'm not trying to take your gaming away from you. I
Right.
get it, but let's introduce something else to you.
Right. Right.
You know.
Yeah. Exactly. Something that you're already familiar with. Something that's very similar to what you're doing right now. And
Mhm.
that's what I was going to say earlier. I deal with the subject of mammon, which is the god of money, right? the spirit that controls wealth. And so there are quite a few in my research games that are being played on Twitch and streamed all over the world right now, where one of the opponents is Mammon.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. It's interesting, man. So they're already familiar with who Mammon is because they probably played a game where he popped up as a challenger at some point. So it's going to be real interesting for me, man, to really get the community. I also want to give a shout out to Elijah Wellington. It's his birthday today. My guy, I think he turns 20 today.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, he's going to be joining us here as we talk about some games on one of the shows. We're still working out the format. We're still working out the schedule. We still have to find the right time for Raw Talk. I think I'm gonna do the Money is Defense show on Mondays.
Okay.
Call it Money Mondays, right? And and just get people started off the right foot during the week. We'll talk about money. And then we got to find a slot for your show. It's wide open right now. I'm actually going to be coming back on here tonight and see if I can get some people to join me.
Okay.
About 11 o'clock tonight and do a Saturday night. I'm sorry, a Friday night, Saturday morning thing, probably 11 to 1 a.m., something like that.
Okay.
Just to give people something to look at that are up late like that and go from there. But we're at the one hour mark, man. I think we've done our job today.
All right.
We had some viewers come on. We have 5 watching live right now. I'm not gonna sneeze at that. We got some activity in the chat, and I got to use the buttons and learn a few things.
That was the most exciting part. You got a chance to use the buttons, huh?
Right. I'm still learning the dashboard, man. This is cool back here, where you can highlight people's questions and stuff like that. That is awesome, and bring in different screens.
I like this relaxed atmosphere, man. This is just relaxed. Man.
Yeah, man. This is definitely me. Like I said, please like us and subscribe on YouTube, Facebook. But if you really want to know when we're going straight up live, come on out to Twitch. You might have to download the app to find us out there, but we could really use your follow so that we can really start building that community. And really trying to offer the young people that are out there, because it's not just it's some old cats out there like us. So it's a little bit of everything out there. So I'm not at all upset about that. But we're definitely going to be targeting that gaming community, because a lot of the things that we're discussing, they're going to automatically just be able to pick up. Yeah, but please follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, at Rebel Action TV. We're all over the place. We still got a whole lot more to discuss, a whole lot more to bring to you as far as all the different shows that we're going to be talking about. We're kicking around Derek of a show talking about angels and demons. I don't know if you know, Rico is big in the Nephilim. He was shooting a film called Nephilim. I'm big into the Nephilim, right? And I got another friend, Daryl Wrong, who's going to be joining us. He's big into the Nephilim, because I don't know if you know, there's been recently a lot of UFO sightings.
Yeah, I've been checking that out.
A lot of UFO sightings, and also a lot of the documents going all the way back to the 40s and 50s are being declassified about exactly what they found. With some of these UFO sightings. So it's going to be exciting, man. It's going to be on, man. So you got time to get your headset fixed up.
Man,
you probably need to change that background, brother. That painting in the back, it's nice and everything, man. But it ain't you. You know what I'm saying?
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. I got you. I like your lighting, man. It's just like, man, I'm in the shadows right now.
Right. I mean, it's cool. You know, we ain't gonna be. You know what? If you cool with that light, I'm cool with that.
No, I'm not.
All right. You might have to get you a ring light or something like that. You'll find a place.
And we have one too. We got like 4 of them.
Oh, there you go. Just plug one in and do what you need to do. You know, but yeah, it's gonna be your show, so you got to have the look that you want, right?
Gotcha.
Right. So I'm gonna be upgrading too, man. I got a microphone coming, a new mic, and a chair, hopefully a chair soon. I did order the new headphones, but I kind of like the way these old ones work. But we'll see.
Man, it's like I really want, man, because they were so cool. Just look at that.
Right, I like the boom. I like the boom on that, man.
Cool, man. Yeah. No rhyme or reason. They just cool.
Was it a USB or what kind of?
Yeah, I plugged it in. I don't know. It's not a USB. I'll get it figured out.
Yeah, get it figured out, man, because them are hot, man. I like those. You like a gamer. All right, bro. We gonna sign off for the day. We thank everybody that tuned in. I don't know if the chats stay live or not, but you can definitely comment, replay on Facebook and YouTube, and we're gonna see you soon. Look for us tonight. If you subscribe to Twitch, it'll notify you when we're on again. All right.
Later.
Have a blessed day. Appreciate it, Derek. We'll see you next time, man.
Talk to you later.
Later.